Hello, back to another episode of All the Mods 3 Remix with me, PyroGecko77, and I have a chicken on my head. Woo! Oop! Well, that's no good. Okay, that didn't go the way I planned. So, the reason I have a chicken on my head is actually because I'm wearing a piggy backpack. Pretty easy item to make, just some sticks and some leather. He's going to start running around, but I wanted to get flight. Because I've been doing a few things off camera here, and I'll show you what I... Oh, and I got an egg. Okay. See, with the golden lasso, what you just saw me craft there, you can pick up mobs. Much better than the piggy backpack. Pick them up, place, pick them up, place. If you notice up at the top of my screen, it still has one heart because I did wind up hitting him accidentally. But, yeah, that's a great way of getting a passive mob. And apparently an egg. Which maybe... Okay, just one chicken. But off camera here, I did some work. Last episode, I established that I wanted to move my base away from that village, because I just couldn't handle the villager noises. But this is our little valley that I had last time. I cleaned up the falling lava and water. I do like the idea of a waterfall, but I want to make it controlled and not just a random thing. I put a little wall here, which now defeats the purpose since I put a hole in it, but it was really to keep mobs out while I spammed torches and tried to stay safe. And found myself some spruce wood to be able to chop down trees really easily and get some lumber. I'll show you what I mean on that. But then I cleared out some space. Since I didn't really want to make a video of like a half an hour or longer of me digging these tunnels... Oop, that's a thing too. I'll explain that in a moment. But since I didn't want to do these tunnels out on camera, because digging can be pretty boring, even though I did make it fast by making myself a hammer. Use the same void crystal stuff that I used to make my pickaxe. But the big thing with a hammer is hammers mine 3x3 spaces. So it's where if I show you here, let's come over here, you can sort of see the blocks already highlighted. And it's a 3x3. Makes making a tunnel a whole lot easier, but still very time consuming. So I dug out an area. I also set up my smeltery. Pretty basic. You can just, oh yeah, that's the ring I was going to make here soon. But if you look at Tinker's, there's a lot of stuff. How about we just look up the seared items? And it's just a matter of making sure that you make your seared tank, you make the smeltery controller. I usually just go by memory. Make a bunch of seared brick, which seared brick is just grout, which gravel, sand of any sort, and clay. Pretty easy stuff to make. Yeah, you can make them of all kinds of shapes. I did the classic 3x3 volume, 3 tall. These used to be the required size of a smeltery, but now you can pretty much make them any size. Doesn't matter. I also got a bunch of random stuff here because I have been mining. I spent a lot of time mining because I thought I was going to work on upgrading our power this episode, but I wanted a quality of life thing. So with this golden lasso, I can actually craft it into the chicken wing ring. Chicken wing ring is pretty cool. Kind of gives you a slow fall effect. But I'm going to immediately turn around. Oh, I thought I had ender pearls. Take one of them. If you haven't realized, this crafting station is linked to this chest. So what I'm crafting here, it's got all the inventory of everything in that crate, I guess. So we'll turn that into the leg. Hello? Oh. Yeah. While that's the right item, it doesn't have the right thing. I need to capture myself a squid. Same way I captured that chicken. Except for I'm not going to bring it back to my base in a piggy backpack, because, well, that's not fun. And we should sleep, because I'm going to get attacked. And I still don't have any armor, nor any weapons. I've been actually hitting stuff with my pickaxe to kill him. Which, my tools have certain upgrades on them. You'll see I've got a diamond and emerald upgrade on here, just more durability. This doesn't have anything on it, but I guess this is a good time to show you as any. The lumber axe from Tinker's Construct, made similarly to all the other tools I've made, but I usually rush to getting it as soon as possible, because you break one block of a tree, and you chop down the whole tree. That's why I wanted the spruce, because it's a lot of wood for chopping down a single tree. Not bad. So that's how I'm going to be getting my wood. Pretty easy to get a ton of lumber by chopping down trees with a lumber axe. Oh, yeah, I didn't ever explain the little elevator thing. So I was going to use this as my room space, just an overlook. It kind of feels more like what, I don't know, the royalty of the city that I'm hoping to build here, Dwarven City, would be living in. Room with a view. And that's actually where I made this elevator block here, so I can get down to the little work area, which is going to be the entrance hall, but to get down here to where all my stuff was at, I got sick of trying to walk outside. So I made this, found out that the maximum range that it can go is right there. So thus we got those stairs. So now that I'll sleep and make it daytime so we don't have to deal with fighting monsters with a pickaxe. Really should make a sword and armor, but that would just make too much sense. And to be honest, I usually don't find vanilla mobs to be all that dangerous, but ironically, as I say this, I do have to admit I did die 4 times off camera. A couple of those were to falling in lava, though. I spent, like I said, a lot of time mining. I got a bunch of ores. Well, I didn't die. Defeating the entire purpose of why I slept here. Let's just clean this all up. Oh, yeah, I also made a Dev Null. Really cheap recipe, just an apple and a piece of cobblestone, any cobblestone. And the nice thing about this is it allows me to hold a stack of cobblestone, and a stack only. Anything over 64 that I collect just gets automatically voided, destroyed, whatever. So, kind of a nice way to keep my inventory clean. I only need so much cobblestone. Cleaning up the mess. Not perfect, but it'll look about as natural as anything else. I was kind of hoping that I would come over here and there would be squid. Didn't really think this part through. Went and got myself a chicken to try to save on time. Did not think about the squid. Well, I guess I can take this as an opportunity to kind of show you around a little bit more. I have been exploring the mountains a little bit more. I have the theory that these go all the way up to build height, because it's pretty tall. I don't know if they truly go up there. I kind of hope that they don't go all the way to build height, because then there's no hope for any structures or anything on top of them. Which, unfortunately, as I'm going to get myself killed. But unfortunately, with no structures on top of them, generally means that there's no hope of finding like any astral sorcery stuff. Which I'm going to have to explore and find, because you got to start astral sorcery by finding a temple. Which, astral sorcery is a magic mod. A very handy one, not necessarily as powerful as most tech mods. Oh, oil. Random. I'm actually heading my way back towards spawn, because I know over by spawn... Ooh, daytime map. How about I head north? Because I knew towards spawn, that's the village we started in, there was a big lake. What if I just switch to heading north, there's more water? Because we need to get that squid, and since I'm basically uploading raw footage right now as I get the hang of how to do YouTube, I'm hoping to not do any cuts, because I've yet to find a editing software that I particularly enjoy using. So, we'll give it a little bit. Try to find a squid. I feel like every other time that I've been on here not caring about squid, I've been able to find them. It's not looking good. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see... Oh, squid. That was timely. But look at the mini-map, I've switched it so it will display as... Grab him. As little icons instead of dots. By default, it's usually white dots for passive and red dots for hostile. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll fight you in the water, because then you can't light me on fire. Okay, so a zombie's already taken a shot at me. So I'm going to do the jump to home command, since I've got a home set here. Do have a waypoint, but I haven't made a warp crystal. Probably should. Feels kind of cheaty teleporting back here, but that's just to save on travel time. We all know I can walk. So now I can craft this. That's on there, and that gives us the ring of the flying squid, which is a bauble. Can just be equipped. Now the thing is, this would serve as a jetpack, but there's something very crucial missing. We need some sort of grid power. To get into grid power, which is a extra utilities power source that's pretty much just a per player way of, I would say, throttling some of their machines. But if you look up mill, there's a few from the extra utilities mod, you can see listed there in blue, that generate differing power depending upon which one you make. By far the best is always the water mill. But to make the water mill, you need to start off with something else, so we're going to start with the manual mill, since that one can just be crafted. I do believe I've already got some, like I said, I've been doing some mining. I thought there was some stone already in here. Was it in this one? Oh, all that time spent looking for something, and I got 3. Well, we'll just make up a little bit more. So you take the stone, get the polished stone. Ooh, that only makes 1. I could have swore that recipe usually makes 3. Or, not 3, 4. Yeah, this isn't mob safe yet. And I really should be using a sword to fight these guys, but as you're seeing, my pickaxe does just fine. It's got about the same damage as a iron sword. So, what was I working on here? The manual mill. We need that, which is this. So actually only going to make a few, but now that I think about it, I got to make a few of these things. So, yeah, 20 of them. Why not? So that gives us the gear, manual mill, and you'll also need a resonator, which takes a block of coal. Sure hope it doesn't take 8 blocks of coal? No way. Yeah, okay. Oh, my inventory's getting to be a mess, which is also why I made a storage bag. In modded, you're going to want to find some sort of bag, because your modded inventory gets horrible fast. Right now, until I make a storage chest, I'm kind of just dumping a lot of the stuff that I don't much care about in random chests, because I'm just waiting to get to a point where I feel the need, or it's not even need, that I know when I set up a storage system that it's going to stay still. Right now, everything I set down is going to be moved. But anyways, we'll make some more of that polished stone, since I realized that excuse me? Is that not the recipe? I swear that's what I did. Polished stone. Okay. So drop that in there, and then we just click on this. And my character will just proceed to punch that. My hands aren't even on the keyboard. Unfortunately making this minorly boring. Not exactly riveting content, but this is one of the 2 ways that you can get into extra utilities. Until you make some sort of mill, you either have the manual mill or the solar panels. I like the manual mill because it's basically 1 craft and then you're done. Once you do this, you can... Is it really not making one yet? Grid power... Oh! I made a derp, I think? Grid power overload. Okay. So apparently you need at least 1 solar panel. I feel like that has been changed. Solar panel from extra utilities. Easy enough. Should have just done these anyways, but the big thing with solar panels is they don't work at night. I like to know exactly when my stuff is going to work. Well, I guess that would be knowing, but I'm going to be going underground. I'm trying to avoid anything solar based. But in the meantime, we'll just put these down here. And then whenever I look at one of the extra utilities machines, you'll see grid power try to use 16, producing 3. Now I'm producing 18, and it'll keep going. Why isn't this working? Excuse me? Because we look up uses, resonator, 8 grid power to make a stone burn. That is what I'm doing. Okay. Break the machine, place it. Maybe it's glitched out from before? It just... Oh. It's because I'm wearing the ring. It's trying to use that grid power. So yeah, this would have worked this way anyways. I just jumped the gun on making the ring before having power. A good lesson that a lot of people should learn in modded is to pay attention to the power requirements of whatever you're making. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people make machines that they didn't have the power to run, or jetpacks that they couldn't fuel. It's kind of a frustrating thing, because you just saw it there live when you think you've got everything you should be advancing, and you're not. Yeah, now I'm making this stuff. I really only need to make 3 more. When we make the watermill, it will give me 4 grid power per side that I've got water on. I don't know if you can find a good way of completely submerging the block. Pretty much everyone just puts power or water on the 2 adjacent sides. You'll see what I mean when I set it up, but the big thing there is it gives us 16 grid power, which I do believe my ring uses 16. So I won't be able to use any of the other machines. Off camera, I will ramp up my grid power production, but I really just want to show you guys what I'm doing on camera, and if we don't take this stuff away, it'll keep trying to do the thing. So we were trying to go for a watermill, which means more of these. And then now, can I make the watermill? Missing the crystals. Okay. That's not a problem, because I thought I had ender pearls somewhere. Here we go. I can take one of them. And then resonating crystal. To make this, you need this, which I can make. That makes 8 of those, which makes us one of these, which makes that. And now we have our watermill. Ha. Modded is a big puzzle. I'm looking for my bucket. It is in my inventory. Okay. So now for the time being, I'll take some water. I've got a shovel, don't I? Yeah, I made a void shovel. Just some basic materials. Nothing special. Taking a really small area here, just for one of these generators. And if I put water in the opposing corners, the big thing here is that this mill generates power based upon how far away from the source block the flowing water is. Source blocks don't produce. Source blocks will be 0. 1 block away from it, this is producing 4. And then, I believe 2, since it's over there. If I go right here, all 4 sides are producing 4. Which means I now have flight. All because of a ring. Now, I would point out, I've got no way of stopping fall damage besides tapping the spacebar. So, yeah. This ring can get me killed. If you notice above my levels there is a bar that goes down. When that runs out, I lose the ability to fly. So while I have basic flight right now, and one of the easiest ways you can try to rush to limited flight, it's very limited. Hence, it's an early game choice. One of the main reasons why you'd want to go with this is just really to get around. And if I show you some of the stuff that I've been mining up, you can start seeing, because there's all kinds of these weird tunnel networks that I've tried to build stuff around, work through, found some interesting structures, which I do want to show you. I'm just nervous that there's a witch, but this will help me just maneuvering my way through these caves. I don't even know what's in there. I intend to explore this stuff on camera. There's so many things to explore, but we'll just show you kind of a little bit of what I found. This is embers. Nothing special about them. There's always a golem in there, but by the time I found it, he's already despawned. Hostile mobs in Minecraft, unless their name tag, despawn. Here's a crystal cave. Has all kinds of gems, like there's emeralds on the other side of that. You got these crystals, really cool. I've mined a decent amount of the diamonds because I couldn't help myself. It's diamond. There's gold. But I'm not just walking down here because of Crystal Cave. There's an astral sorcery mining temple? I don't know what you'd call this. I just know if you mine this block, it replaces itself, and there's a chance for it to be ore. There we go. Lead from nuclear craft, coal from regular Minecraft. And you can just sit here, just keep mining, and it just randomly selects something. I'm getting a lot of stone. Charge Certus quartz. And it can be almost any ore. There we go, we just got some diamond. And you just do this for a while. This isn't something I'm going to bore you guys on camera unless you really would want to see what random ore it could turn into. But you just stand here mining all the stuff. I gotta get used to it. Basically, I have a jetpack and a full inventory. Honestly, my inventory is not normally this big of a mess, but when I'm on camera, I don't want to spend time just rearranging my items. So, in between each episode, I'll do that. Even if I record in bulk, hopefully my inventory will clean up every time. So, that's basically a standard chunk of the cave. There's all kinds of interesting stuff that we can come across that I've mined a lot. And there's all kinds of neat things. I've tried to minimize what I explore. I found a ton of dungeons because, well, we've got the Roguelike Dungeons mod. There was a structure near the village that I was actually looking forward to. Yeah, you can see how much I've mined, my 3x3 tunnels. And I've gone, oh, beehive, spawned with a bunch of redstone around it. I'll do some mining on camera, but honestly, I haven't been in the best mood to record. I don't know if it's been my allergies or what. My back was all tensed up. I just was feeling low energy. So I would just mine. I would just do these straight tunnels. Oh, uranium. That's useful. I always mine that when I find it. Somehow missed it. There's all kinds of ores in the ground. Nothing too special. Oh. And I guess I'm finding more stuff. Most of the time when I'm mining in here, though, I'm just steamrolling right through it, hoping to find something that catches my eye. More often than not, I'll be walking down a different section of the tunnel when I come down here. And I might notice something interesting, but right now, I'm not really in need of resources. So, we have a pretty good start. The Tinker's Smeltery will allow me to melt down ores, which serves as early game ore doubling. So if I throw something in there like iron, I'll get, well, the fluid of 2 iron ingots, and then you gotta pour it out here. And that's why I got this basic automation. This pulses redstone. Whenever this gets a redstone pulse, it starts pouring, pours into an ingot cast, makes an ingot, hoppers pull it out, goes in chest. Hence I've got ingots, just because I've thrown some ore inside there. Beyond that, it's really just been trying to think of how I want to design this. Making these big tunnels, what I'm imagining is going down a section like this would be like the main road of a dwarven city. But don't think of dwarven city as you know it. Think of a city underground. I just tend to view this as an opportunity to like treat these as regular roads that you'd walk down. And then like if this was a house right here, this would be like you own this land. At this section right here is now your land to build whatever you want. You want a porch? You break out a section, you got to mine it back, and then you can build a porch right there. So depending upon what I need, I'll obviously have houses down here just as like a general aesthetic. I might just mine out the facade and whatnot for it, because how many houses does one player really need? But there'll be factories, there'll be production, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. And it's going to intermingle with these cave networks as I just randomly come across them. Kind of picturing, dwarves living underground, just... Oop. Not liking this. I do not like this. I don't have armor or weapons. So... Oh. Okay. Bye now. But just generally that forcing the mountain to be their home. Like, just shaping it. So, like, this would be a perfect example of, like, if this was just going to be a doorway and you could do stuff like here, then you'd be the same as you walk down some streets. You literally are right up against the outer wall of some buildings. Otherwise, I'll be mining back. Hence the reason why I wanted a decent mining tool. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. Besides that, just gathering ores, because what we're going to do for power, I believe it's this chest. We have resonating crystals from Deep Resonance. It's not that powerful of an energy mod, but it legitimately allows you to just place these crystals in the world, and you can see the stats there. I don't know why it's doubled. Some weird visual of the mod that's allowing me to see what I'm looking at, but whatever. But we can place these in the world, and we can draw energy out of them. It's pretty cool. Causes radiation, so there's that to worry about. But for an early game power source, it should take minimal effort to be able to generate 5,000 RF per tick. That shouldn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people, But keep in mind that this that I've been using to power just like 2 machines generates, what, 40 RF per tick? So 5,000 is more than enough for an average player just running some machines, trying to process stuff, trying to build a base. For a builder, 5,000 is plenty. I gotta be honest with you, 5,000 is not enough for me. We'll probably break over 1,000,000 RF per tick. And keep in mind, 20 ticks per second. So lots of numbers, lots of fun. Looking forward to it. But to be honest, we're at the end of an episode here, and I realize I didn't get a whole lot done, but keep in mind, you now have a vision of what the base is going to look like. It's going to sprawl a massive chunk of the map, and I've got flight now. It's not good flight, but it's flight. I now have a better command of moving through the world. And I would point out that this is usually something I accomplish within the first few hours of playing. None of the resources that I used are particularly demanding. It's something that you can rush to in most playthroughs, most mod packs, if they've got some sort of flight. This actually isn't my first choice. I was going to do mechanism flight, but recipes have been changed, so this is the easiest. So, to recap kind of what we've done since the start of the series, find a spot for a home, found a better spot for a home, made some tools, stole some basic machines, figured out some basic storage. That's pretty much it. But it has gotten us to a point where we can double our ores so that mining's not a big deal. Been able to break stuff down. I would say all in all, we got a pretty dominating command of our Minecraft world. We can shape it as we please. So if you like this episode, I know it's kind of a little bit of talky, more just trying to give you my philosophy on how I play modded Minecraft and trying to not specifically advance too far off camera. I have mined a lot, but those are just resources. You know how to mine. Break the blocks. Go looking for ores. It's really not that captivating. So, questions, comments, concern, leave them in the comments. I have been making a habit of reading every comment, but then again, that's easy when I don't have any comments yet at this time. Well, till the next time. Bye!